The man who called himself Ali LeBlanc surfaced from a deep sleep to cries of anguish, screams, gunfire, exploding grenades, and the roaring of many engines. It was the stuff of nightmare. But rising from the bed above the little cafe and moving to the window, he saw that this was no dream. The previous evening he had left Tehran on the night plane to Iraq using his Iranian passport. His shabby canvas bag had a false bottom, containing 3 passports, and he had chosen the French one for the flight from Baghdad to Aleppo. At an extortionate price he had obtained a hire car to take him to Homs, and from there he intended to cross the border and proceed to Beirut. Its population of 2 million, its multiplicity of races and religions, would swallow him up. His Lebanese passport, in the name of Ali LeBlanc, indicated that he was of mixed French-Lebanese parentage and a doctor, which was true enough, although he had not practiced for some years. He wore a dark suit, showing signs of wear. He was 64 years old, and seemed older, his eyes tired, his white hair uncut. Age had caught up with him, as well as the strain of travelling in the war-torn country, and he had stopped to rest at the cafe in the small town of Hula. As he stood by the window, the door opened, and the cafe owner, Hassan, rushed in, beside himself with rage. "Stay back from sight! It's a butcher's shop out there!" LeBlanc peered carefully from behind the curtain and was horrified by what he saw. Cars of every type, and light trucks with machine guns attached, crisscrossed each other, shooting at anyone who moved. Across the square, men and young boys were being lined up against any available wall and machine-gunned. Even the mosque was being used for that purpose. Women were being dragged inside by the hair. Their assailants in semi-military uniforms looked more like brigands than soldiers. LeBlanc said, "Who are they?" "They belong to an organized gang culture, a bit like the mafia used to be in Sicily. Throat cutters to a man. They think nothing of killing children, the women, after they've been raped. They're supposed to be militia. The regular army tolerates them and lets them do the dirty work, which suits the government down to the ground." Hassan's face was wild. "So what happens now?" LeBlanc asked. "The doors are bolted. I've paid my protection. My wife and 2 daughters are locked in the cellar." He shrugged. "There's not much more I can do. Come down to the kitchen. With what's going on out there, you won't have much of an appetite, but there's coffee and several stronger things under the counter." LeBlanc glanced out of the window. The shooting had abated considerably. Most of the vehicles had roared away, the men in them laughing and shouting to each other, with only the odd shot in the distance. "No one moaning in pain." "Not a sound out there," LeBlanc said. "The bastards take pleasure in finishing everyone off," Hassan told him, leading the way downstairs and into the kitchen. There was an eerie quiet, the aroma of good coffee from an electric percolator, an old AK-47 assault rifle lying on the table. Hassan went into the cafe and returned with a bottle of Courvoisier cognac. LeBlanc put his bag on the table and picked up the rifle as Hassan got the bottle open. "May Allah forgive me." He raised it to his mouth. At the same moment, the outside door was kicked aside and a brute of a man, bearded, long hair bound by a bandana, slipped in. He was carrying a MAC-10 machine pistol. "Drop it, or I'll drop you," he told LeBlanc, who placed the AK-47 on the table at once. "Of course," he said. The man reached for the bottle. "Cognac, eh? Are we celebrating something your old friend Hamid should know about?" He poured some into his mouth. "Ah, good stuff. Seems a shame to keep it all for ourselves. Why don't you let your wife and daughters out of the cellar so they can join the party?" "No, damn you, I will not do it," Hassan said violently. Hamid raised the Mac, and LeBlanc cried, "No need for that. I have money, see?" He unzipped the bag, reached into the false bottom, produced a wad of currency, and dropped it on the table. $1,000 American. Hamid was mesmerized and reached out to examine the money for himself. "Where did you get this?" "Tehran," LeBlanc told him. "And there's more."